Hello and welcome to the Smartpip Pre-European Market Review. My name is Christian Stevens, also known as FX Chris. Today is Thursday, March 15th, 2012. This is a review of just some of what we did today in the live pre-European class at smartpip.com. Let me remind you that the purpose of this video is education. It is not to offer trading advice, although we will plan in detail for several setups daily together every day in class. Please be mindful that trading under leverage is always risky business. Occasionally, as a novice trader, using excessive leverage might work for you, but more times than not, it's going to spank you. So, hey, please don't risk real money until you have a proven track record of success on a broker's free demo account. But even then, remember, past performance does not predict future results. Never trade money you can't afford to lose. One more thing before we get started, whether you're watching this video on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, our blog at smartpip.com, or our blog at FX Street, I'd love you to leave any sort of a comment once you're done watching. I'd love to hear from you. Well, as we came in today, we had we were a little bit consolidatory, but we knew sort of what we were waiting for. The one thing that stuck out to me on a couple things was, first of all, this is a dollar index. And the dollar index was coming off of an area of resistance, as you can see highlighted here in green. This roll reversal, pretty much it. This is a daily chart. So the idea that this was going to come back down, if you look at this little low right here, that we were going to fractally come back down and fib that. And obviously you can see we've already pretty much done that. Maybe we get a little more out of it. Maybe we get a little more out of it. But that's essentially the first thing I looked at. Draw it on here if you see what I'm talking about. So we're at the 382 now. Maybe we get to the next level, which would make a little more sense. But nevertheless, that was the first objective, and that put us at a spot where we were waiting to get to at least this point where we're at pretty much right now, which meant a little bit of a long on the euro was in store, at least from the short term. And as you take a look at the euro chart instantaneously, because the euro is 60% of the index, so that's going to obviously anti-correlate to it for the most part. We're dropping. Here we are coming into class about right here. Okay, that's when we start our class. And when we start our class, we have a Stokes cycle that's completely done on the 15-minute. Okay, the 4-hour is, it's out of play. The down cycle's over back here, so we're just sort of trending at the moment. And the hourly is still trending up, but really haven't gone anywhere. We're sitting on a weekly M1 reversal pivot point, right? And lost my pen there. And probably the biggest thing of all is when you look at the daily chart. Now you can't really see this anymore, unfortunately, but there was a ginormous gap between the price and this 5 EMA, because obviously we've come up since then. But anytime you have a gap like that, it's very likely that that's going to get filled at least, say, 50-60% of the way before, if not 70% of the way, before maybe it tries to continue down. So the point was, we had reason to believe the index was going to pull back. We had reason to believe the euro was going to pull back. So there's a nice little scalp is born. We just had to wait for a higher low. And lo and behold, right after class starts, you get one. Oh, gee, 15-minute higher low, long it. And really, it was as simple as that. I'm not kidding. Didn't get a million pips, but nothing wrong with a quick little 50-pip trade to start the day. Hello, hello. All you had to do was endure sort of one pullback right here when it was about 30-something in profit before it finished the job. And that's what it looks like on a 15-minute chart. And if you want to see this on the 3-minute chart here, this is when right here is when see, 2 o'clock. Yep, that's when I took the mic. That's at 2 o'clock. Normally it's 1 o'clock, but we're changed until the 25th due to the this is Eastern time, due to the time difference between Europe and New York. But what is that, guys? That's a higher low. Exactly at Frankfurt Open. Does that interest you? So basically, that's all there was to it. So higher low right after we take the mic. If you didn't catch that one, there was another one right there, and probably just as good. Either way, your stop loss is underneath here somewhere, and that's it. You're just going for it. A little bit of a scalp, like I said, tied to the index. And that was just one of the trades. Now listen, this is the euro dollar. This same trade here was available on quite a few pairs at that same time. And maybe some might have even performed better. Like the Swissies and the Yens actually kicked out more pips, I think, at that time, as did some others. But who cares? As long as you catch one of them, I'm not going to throw away 50 pips in pre-London any day of the week. And our target on that, you can actually see my alarm, was 62. We got to 66. And then I thought we'd flip. But the overall plan for the day was that after that flip, that we would end up doing an overall higher low, probably a role reversal of this stuff, and we continue up to the daily 5. Let's see how that's turned out. Whoops. Is that it's pretty ugly the way it, I'll admit it, the way it did it's pretty ugly, but did it not do exactly that when it's all said and done? It hasn't really made much of a higher high yet. But that was the one trade that we did right there. We caught that lion's share, okay? And you could see that 4-hour 21 EMA. Okay, and we're almost up to it, and you can see it on an hourly, and the Bollingers were closed up a little bit for a while, which gave us a little bit of a scare, but we ended up getting there. So if you look at a clean chart, our target was basically this first target was here, and the second target was up around 30-80 zone, and this is where we sit right now. So nevertheless, I took profit. I didn't get back into this one, but whatever. The other trade we did later, well, that was the trade we actually did live in class together. This here's a trade is one of the ones that we planned that we had to wait for. All right, so this is when we took the this is when I was taking the mic. We were talking about the setup. This was your pound yen, okay. And the reason I focused on the pound, just to preface that, is the pound was actually had been the strongest character as of late, right? But after this drop we got on the euro pound yesterday, we were sitting down here, it looked very likely, and as you can see, we've already gotten the pullback. I'm actually in this short, that it was going to make it up to, it's a 2-hour chart. Let me show you on an hourly. Show you why. So this is the 15-minute you see here. There's the fib. You can see what our plan was, right, on that. And I'm just another plan I was briefly talking about. This roll reversal, this is the 3 to 50% fib zone. This is a roll reversal back here. There's the alarm we set last night. And, excuse me, taking the mic in here. So granted, it had already started this pullback as of London close yesterday. So don't give me credit for that pullback. But, you knew it was coming. So it just didn't seem like it was at a place to pick up bears yet. It came off the weekly M1. So while this is rising, okay, that pound is likely to be weaker, right? And so in other words, while this is rising, pounds like to be weaker. So the yens, as they were falling, you're coming off this reversal pivot zone here, right? You can see there's a roll reversal row, okay. Pound alarm there. And now it's going to head down more, and that's why you're getting a pound alarm now, because now the pound's getting stronger. So that was the reason. I'm not going to talk too much about the euro pound short, although it did. We had that set up too, but that was the reason I leaned basically to the pound yen versus the other yens. As you can see, it started out much better than any of the other yens. Now, as the night's gone on, some of the others have picked up pace and actually surpassed it. But the pound yen was the more tradable looking pair initially. You just had to be watching when that euro pound hit resistance, because if it hit resistance too soon, then this might not have been the end pair to short. Okay, so our plan was simply put this. We had already missed the absolute top short. All right, come on, man. Okay, so we're coming in together in class to this. Let's scoot everything over. And you're effectively sitting just in front of a daily central pivot point at a weekly M4 retest roll reversal zone. So you know that it's very likely that it's heading down to this 4-hour 5 and 4-hour 21 in the fib zone, right? You could just see that on every chart, but you've already started. You ever had that happen where you've already sort of made most of the beginning of your move and you're like, damn it, you want to short it, but you're really much closer to support than you are resistance, right? And resistance at that point was up here. So what we had to do was plan and wait for a pullback. So we had to wait for this and then look for an opportunity to short that lower high and then go for the 130, 40 to 50 zone. As you see, my alarm is at 47. So around 130, 40 zone was the target on that. So what happened? Okay, and this trade took a little longer to wait for. It gets down to the 50% fib. You see the roll reversal, okay? And that's when you notice the crossing 2155. Yeah, man, I don't know if you can see that. I'm drawing another fib over it. Probably makes it harder to see, but see the red about to cross the CMA here? And that's a change in speed. So when that comes down right at that overlap, what do you have? It hits it right at a 50% fib roll reversal. Gives a little higher low before that. This is the key to recognize here is the time. Understand what's happening here. Let me see. Let me just go ahead and scroll over. This is right in front of London Open. This is the London Open candle last night. So where is London at when they open up? Are they at support or are they at resistance? So what's more likely to happen in this case? Come on, man, think about it. They're either going to sit aside or they're going to short. It's resistance. Even if it fails, it's likely to do it like that, right? And as you can see, it even tried to fail at 131. Nevertheless, that was our entry, and that's our entire trade. So just to give you another, this is our second trade that we had planned last night. And you can see we're at the 4-hour 21 now. What's the end result on this? Sure, you missed the first little segment, big effing deal, right? The next one, which is, by the way, usually just as long, is, if you notice that, it's about 80 pips or so. Done, cash and carry. Those two trades together were more than enough, 120 pips to make anybody happy. So that was pretty much what we did today in class at smartpip.com. If you'd like to check us out, and we 0600 to 0800 every day, 2 hours before the London Open, we put our trades together and talk them over and discuss them. And like to learn how to do this, come visit us in class. We'd love to have you. You guys have a great one. Cheers.